Soundstripe.
Well, it is an honor to introduce to you all Joe Horan, who's the executive director of the Building Men program. And we've had the opportunity, and Joe flew down to what I call paradise, Orlando, to spend a few days just kind of going through a leadership coaching process with the goal of, enhancing his leadership skills and development to advance an organization that he's already done a phenomenal job with. So, Joe, first of all, I just want to say, man, you've done great work with those young men, and we're proud of the efforts that you put forth to help them, go become a man, and things of that nature. So, tell us a little bit about the program first.
So it's a group mentoring program where we help middle school, elementary school, high school boys manage the landscape of education, the landscape of social interaction, how to get them to where they're going to be a positive impact in our community. We take a look at the boys and their gifts and their talents and how can we help them become the best versions of themselves.
And you've done a phenomenal job with it. You and your team, a phenomenal job, man. So kudos to that. I've seen it firsthand. So Joe, we started this leadership journey last year in Delaware. And like I said, it's definitely much better being here in Orlando. But what was it last year that that kind of compelled you to want to go through this leadership coaching journey? And more importantly, where were you last year as it relates to, what you want to accomplish for your organization and gaps you want to fill, things of that nature? What were things last year and some of the thoughts that you were thinking about maybe enhancing certain areas? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, last year, like everybody else, we came out of the pandemic and we took a hit, right? And it became apparent that the boys really suffered. Being out of school for a year and a half, and the depression issues and the suicide rate amongst the boys was skyrocketing. And I just felt the need that I had to bring the organization to another level. I had to do more to impact the young men. And so I needed to, get a clearer vision on what I needed to do to make that happen. What are the strategies and the systems that I needed to get in place so we could have more impact and the organization as a whole could be healthier.
That's good, man. That's good. So we went through some coaching last year. We looked at everything. We looked at things from a personal perspective. We looked at mindset, growth mindset, fixed mindset. We looked at all of that. We looked at organizational goals and objectives. What do you think and we talked about it quite a bit, and we could be here for an hour talking about everything that we talked about. But what did you walk away with last year that you think helped you to have, and what I can see this year, a very good year? So tell us, what were some of those goals, and what did you able to achieve as a result of going through the coaching?
The biggest surprise was the how much time we spent on looking at what was going on inside of me as a leader, right? I learned that to be a good leader, I had to be the best version of me. We spent a lot of time talking about mindset. We talked a lot of time about language and communication and all those things that I didn't really think a lot about. I thought I was going to come down here to learn specific systems and a certain way of doing things, and I really ended up leaving this with, I need to become a better me. To become a better leader, I need to become the best version of myself, and really took a lot of that internal work that I need to do, and as a result of doing it this year, it's been completely different.
It's totally different. And you were able to work on even some of the external things like better delegation for your team. Looking at what you want to achieve from a fiscal standpoint. I know we talked about that. And from what you told me, you guys hit some pretty significant goals there.
Yeah, it was amazing. 6 figures in revenue. We have a leadership team now. We're able to have 3 people that have stepped up to take different leadership roles within the organization this year that I didn't have last year, and to be able to start trusting people to do the work, and it's freed me up to start working on some of the other things that we need to do to grow the company.
Yeah. One thing we talked about in particular that I would like to mention is that you talked about how as a leader, one of the things of a leader responsibilities, you need to be visible. You need to be out, interacting and engaging with the community. You did pretty much a better job of that this year, wouldn't you say?
It forced me to start going into these the meetings in different organizations and joining different groups to be out there to advocate, right? To advocate to get more resources to help our boys, to give them more support, and to be able to be out there, and so people know that we're legit and we're really trying to do something to help our youth.
Love it, man. And lastly, this time, being here these few days in Orlando, I looked at it more like calibration coaching time, because you're already on the roll. You're doing neat things. You've advanced your organization, but we just want to look at 5 or 6 specific goals, moving forward for this year. For people that are listening to this, the way we do it is, you do these few days, and then there's some ongoing coaching throughout the year. But what maybe is one thing that you're walking away with, and we covered a lot, that you think next year, I'm going to put this in place, and I think it's going to really help advance our mission with the Building Men program?
We talked a lot about what corporations can we collaborate with, and have a set goal that we're going to reach out to 10 and really build relationships with 10 organizations that really could help our boys advance, not only in their personal life, but hopefully into their careers. And I think that is going to be a big tipping point if we can have some solid partnerships and collaborations at the end of this year.
And I'll tell you, when we were talking about community reinvestment and how a lot of these corporations, by working, you interacting with them, they have dollars that they'll possibly give to you and your organization, but also resources like executives that may come in and talk to the young men. And that's important, don't you? That's an important collaboration, isn't it? You think, for
it's
you.
huge. It's huge. It's all about exposing the boys to different opportunities and different people.
Yep.
Right? If all they see is what's in their neighborhood, they don't see the big world, down here in Florida. They don't see what's happening, in the different opportunities. They may have a skill or a talent buried inside that doesn't get sparked until they hear somebody talking about it.
Yeah.
And they have an opportunity to see it, and to see that there's a bigger world out here. There's more to it than my neighborhood.
And you said a word that's so important: exposure. Just getting them exposed, man, to different people. And that's great leadership. So I just want to include this by saying, what I love about what I've seen in you, man, is you've grown significantly as a leader. You're leading your team. Like this year, another goal I will mention is that you said you're going to mentor more, mentor your team more, so that you can have that post-pandemic type leadership piece going on effectively with your team. But Joe, you're a great example of a leader that's willing to take the time to invest in themselves, man, and invest in their development. And I know that's why the Building Men program is really moving in the direction that you wanted to move in. So job well done. And we got some more coaching we'll be doing this year.
Yes,
and guess what? We're going to bring you back to sunny Orlando next year to do the same thing. So
awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for your help.
I appreciate you, man. Take care. Bye-bye.